This year, as an Uber we have two Purims. We have a Purim Katon and a Purim Gadol. And we're lucky in that respect. A small ha'ara, which I had the chus to hear from Rav Aryeh Strikov, the author of the rather famous book Inside Purim, regarding Purim Katon, I thought it would be worthwhile to share with you all. And it goes like this. Purim, as we know, is a Zman that's very mesugel for tefillah. In exactly the same way as Esther's tefillah was makubal, so too through all of the dairis, all of the tefillos surrounding Purim, and Tainus Esther, for that matter. Tainus Esther, very mesugel for tefillos, so that's when she fasted. That's not when she fasted, but that's when we commemorate it. They fasted on Pesach. But it's a mesugel for tefillos. So what does that wily Yisahara do? What does that wily guy do? He has us running around all Purim with shlachmanis. We're busy giving up pekalach, getting pekalach, kids getting tips. Where is the tefillah? And he got this. His makar was the famous Mishnah Megillah, Ein Bain. The first Ein Bain that we have is Ein Bain Adar Rishon, Adar Sheni, and that the Purim in Adar Rishon does not have Kriyas Megillah and does not have Matanos Levyonim. Happens to leave out Shlachmanis. And Mefarshim talk about that. But his ha'ara was that Shlachmanis, in a very real sense, defeats the purpose, not defeats the purpose, but takes away from some of the ikar of the yontif. The ikar is Avodas Hashem, as in everything that we do. And when we do this Shlachmanis and we want to be Mekayim the mitzvah, we are being Mekayim the mitzvah. Don't feel bad about doing Shlachmanis. My suggestion, personally, it's not his, is keep your tehillim in the car. As the kids are running around, say kapitel tehillim between each house. Not only for Eretz Yisrael, but for us too. So I think that that's not a bad idea, my own little addition. But his take was, why did Hashem, for our schus, give us a Purim Katon this year and in all the years of the Ibriyur? Because on this year, we don't run around on Purim Katon doing Shlachmanis. But the segula for the keep for being makabel the tefillos is still there. So we have an extra opportunity and an extra chance and an extra schus to have our tefillos answered. So let's do that on this Purim Katon. Let's daven our hearts out. Let's daven for Klal Yisrael. Let's daven for Eretz Yisrael. Let's daven for us. Let's daven for all Yisrael all around the world. Because this Purim Katon, there's no Shlachmanis, that's for sure. But we can daven, and we can daven very good. This is sweet Purim Katon. So that's from Rav Aryeh Strikov. I want to give credit where credit is due. So I wanted to share that with you. It's brought down by the Sefer Kanfei Hashchina that the letters of the word Purim have all of the Yom Tovim connected and attached to Purim. And it's interesting how he says it. Purim is Pei is Pesach, Vav is Vesukos, a little bit shver there. Reish is Rosh Hashanah, Yud is Yom Kippur, and Mem is Matan Torah for Shavuos. So what's fascinating here is that the Vav, which stands for Vesukos, could also mean and. What does that and represent? It means that both Purims, Purim Katon and Purim Gadol, are to be considered Yom Tovim. So that's one very cute little vertel. But there's another one which I thought was adorable, and I thought that I would share that with you. The Rav of Apta, Rav Avram Herschel, got together and made a Seudah for all of his Talmidim and his Chasidim of Purim Katon. And is sitting there, according to the Sefer, which is, by the way, the Sigaras Purim, which I looked for high and low and I found. I purchased this many years ago. It's a little golden Sefer on Purim, which I've quoted to many people in the family on every Purim. Among the people sitting at his Purim Katon Suda was a Chassidish Rebbe named Reb Leib Milichev. Leib Milichev. It turns out, or he points out here, that he was a very, very sharp and very, very well-seasoned, how shall I say, Talmid Chacham. At the time of the Suda, Rabbi from Apta, Avram Herschel, said to Rabbi Leib, let's hear something from you, and I want you to make us enlightened with your words. So Rav Leib answered as follows. Here it comes. He says, the minhag of the world is that someone who is pregnant gives birth to a katan. A isha me'uberes, the word for pregnant in Hebrew is me'uberes. The isha me'uberes brings and has a yeled katan, which means a tinoik. Okay, if they have a behema me'uberes, brings out a behema katana. However, if you have a shana me'uberes, what kind of katan does a shana me'uberes bring out? Nobody had an answer. He says it's pashut. He started to laugh and says, a shana me'uberes brings out a Purim Katon. So I thought that was adorable, and it really puts us into the proper frame of mind to get ready for the Purim Gadol. We should be besimcha. After Mordechai heard about Haman's gezerah, he put on sakfa efer as a sign of avelus for this terrible decree. The pasuk tells us Esther sent clothing for Mordechai to wear, so that he would take off his sackcloth, but he refused. David on the Perikim pasuk. Mordechai did not want the clothing that Esther had sent for him. The Tiferes Shloimeh asks, did Mordechai not have clothing? Of course he had clothing. He had put on the sackcloth to make a statement about the terrible situation. So why did Esther send him clothing? He was lacking shirts? Esther was suggesting that there was a better way to daven, a means of tefillah that will be much more effective. While the situation calls for sakfa efer, she was saying your tefillos need to be offered in the spirit of simcha. In sending the clothing, Esther was telling Mordechai that he has to daven with confidence and joy. That's the way to tear up the evil decree. What did Mordechai say? Mordechai's response was, no, I am tzebrachen, and my tefillos have to reflect that. Who was right? Later in the Megillah, Achashverosh commands Haman to dress Mordechai in the royal begadim, the royal clothing, and parade him through the street on the king's horse. Right after that, Mordechai's tefillos are accepted. In Shemaiah, they paskin like Esther. Mordechai's tefillos came from a place of simcha, triumph, and excitement. He was answered. The Gemara in Megillah relates that when Achashverosh dispatched Haman to go and bring Mordechai and lead him through the streets on the horse, he found Mordechai davening. Clearly says Haman waited for him to finish, the Gemara says. This is astounding. The Ben Yehoyada asks, why? Why would a Russia wait for a tzaddik to daven? Rabbi Elimelech Biramin saying over his Torah, and he emphasizes each word to make his point as persuasively as possible. It's because he saw that Mordechai was tzebrachen, filled with anguish and pain. He didn't want to interrupt that with good news, because that would elevate the whole tefillah and would enable Mordechai to finish davening in a state of simcha. Haman knew that. A tefillah filled with simcha is different than a tefillah of tsar. Have a very happy Purim Katon.